Hello friends, this is Satvinder Bhatia from Sukhmaniimmigration Services, Brampton, Canada. I'm a regulated and licensed Canadian immigration consultant. So on this channel, we talk a lot about Canadian immigration news and update in an easy to understand language. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Please like the video, share it with your family and friends so that they can also benefit from this. Hit the bell icon so that this video comes to you first. Now, let's talk about today's video. Today's video is very special. It has an emotional value too because this is attached to those because of which we are here. Whatever we have achieved in Canada is because of them. So, who they are? They are our parents and grandparents. Parents and Grandparents Program 2022. So 2022 Parents and Grandparents Program lets your parents and grandparents come to Canada. Let me tell you, it is not open yet. You will say, why we are talking now then? Well, we have to talk now because if we talk when it is open, then it will become useless. We have to prepare. We have to get everything ready ahead of time. So preparation is the key. Planning is the key in this, most important part. So we have to talk, we have to understand the things now so that we are already set for when the program gets open. This program gets open only once in a year. So IRCC is yet to announce it, but I am telling ahead of you that please prepare everything, get it ready so that when the program opens, you can submit it. There is always a quota which is attached to it. 10,000, 20,000, whatever the quota is, it changes, but there is always a quota. And the applications by far exceed much higher than what the quota is. So that's the important point. Now, the format can be a lottery format, which is currently existing, or it can be a first come first serve basis. It depends. Right now it is a lottery format. I'll explain to you the entire process at the end of the video, so please watch till the end. Preparation, as I always say, needs to be done ahead of time. Now, parents and grandparents, they have many options to come to Canada. First, let's understand those options. Then I'll come to the program. So options for parents and grandparents to come to Canada are, first of all, I have divided them into two parts. It is permanent option. The second one is a temporary option. The second one is, you know that the option is visitor visa and the other option is super visa. Although super visa is for a 2 years duration, your parents can stay for 2 years duration in Canada, but still it is a temporary option. So I'll try to make a complete video on super visa, how it is done, what are the requirements, details. But for now, I'll talk only about the parents and grandparents program. And there are other options also, like caregiver is one of the option, and HNC, the humanitarian and compassionate grounds, is another option. Who cannot meet any kind of criteria, they can be we can consider them into the HNC category. But again, the scope of the video is limited only to the parents and grandparents program. I have circled it here, that's the reason. So what is parents and grandparents program? So first of all, I'll tell you this program falls under the big umbrella of family reunification. And Canadian government is very passionate about reuniting the families. So it runs a lot of programs. Within the family reunification category, there is a program which is parents and grandparent program. There is another one of the very important program is spousal program. Spousal, I have got so many requests to make video on this. I will try to make video. If you find you need a video on some particular subject, put it in the comment section. Let me know which section do you think, which program do you think needs video. I will try to make it. For now, again, I am only considering this video on parents and grandparents. There are other things which comes into the family reunification umbrella, which is sponsoring a dependent child under the age of 22, sponsoring brothers, sisters, niece, nephew, grandchildren also comes under this, and adopted children under the age of 18 and other relatives. But my video scope is limited only to parents and grandparents program for now. Now, benefit of parents and grandparents program. The first and the most important benefit which is there is reunification. I feel is the biggest benefit of this program. So we come here in Canada, we settle down, make a lot of money, but one thing we always miss is our parents back home. So that's very kind of emotional aspect also. So this program lets you bring your parents and reunite, so their parents can live with you, they can play with their grandkids. So this is the most important benefit I feel of the parents and grandparent program. In addition to it, other benefits are, so they enjoy, since this is a permanent program, as I've already told you, unlike super visa or visitor visa, so they get PR card and they enjoy all the benefits which comes with the PR card. So the first benefit, of course, is they can live and they can work. On visitor visa, they cannot work, right? So they can work on, also they can live here freely as long as they wish to, and they can get free health care. Now this is very important, taking a pause here. Why? During later on in the age, parents usually have some kind of medical issues, so the treatment and the diagnostic tests are very costly. So with this you get free health care, and that is very useful. So next is, if you get PR card, only then you can get Canadian citizenship. So this is kind of a path to a Canadian citizenship also. So you don't have to buy expensive health insurance which is required for the super visa as a mandatory item. In this, it is not mandatory to buy a health insurance. And lastly, right, there is no kind of education or IELTS requirement or language test requirement. Your parents don't have to undergo that. They don't have to go through the hassles of evaluating, getting ECA done or language testing done. So that thing is easy. So these are the benefit. Now, who is eligible to sponsor parents and grandparents? So I have tried to help this with the help of a diagram, so it's easy to understand. So first thing, only permanent resident and Canadian citizen can sponsor. Students, work permit holders cannot. They cannot do the sponsorship of parents and grandparents. They can call on other visas, but not on parents and grandparents program. The person has to be at least 18 years of age. He has to be living in Canada. This is very important. Sometimes, person take a Canadian citizenship and go somewhere, some other country, maybe Dubai, maybe India, maybe somewhere else, they go back or live in, but they have to live in Canada so that your parents can reunite. The purposes of this program is reunite. If you are into some other country, then how can you sponsor and reunite? So other thing is that they have to meet income requirement. There is a certain income requirement. We'll talk about it in the coming slide. So they have to sign an undertaking also. What this undertaking is, I'll tell you. ICCRC has some other requirements also. What are those other requirements? I'll share in the video coming next. So who can sponsor? As I already told you, if you have a permanent status, only then you can sponsor your parents and grandparents. You have to be either a permanent card holder, PR card holder, or you have to be a Canadian citizen. You can only sponsor, and this is quite a lot of queries I get. I want to sponsor my in-laws. Sometimes, people want to be good in your eyes of your wife, and that is the reason say, I want to sponsor my in-laws. No, you cannot sponsor your in-laws. Your wife has to sponsor in-laws. If she doesn't meet the income requirement, then you can become a co-sponsor. So you can sponsor your own parents. You cannot sponsor your in-laws. You can be a co-signer. Small technical things, but you need to remember this. You have to be at least 18 and must be residing in Canada. We already talked about it. So now let's talk about the income requirement. This is a very important and essential part of this program. So there is a 3-year income requirement which you have to show. Line 150 on your notice of assessment. That is the income requirement you have to show. Nothing else is considered. So this is the tax time. So prepare yourself accordingly. If you want to sponsor your parents or grandparents, this is the time. Now it depends upon the family size. This is very important to understand what the family size is. So consider first yourself, one person, then your wife or spouse or common law partner, 2, and your kids. So if I am sponsoring my parents, so one person, my wife, two kids, then it becomes 4, then 2 parents, it becomes 6. So you have to have an income requirement for 6 person. And the income requirement usually increases each year, right? So for 2018, this slab shows 2018, 2019, 2020. But 2021, government has not declared it. So you have to make income requirement for 21, 20 and 2019. You see in this table, the requirements for 2022 government has relaxed a little bit, decreased. Usually it increases. Because of COVID, the earning was low. So that's why government has kind of decreased 2020. What the slabs will be when the program will release, the new slabs will come. I will share it with you. But for now, you have to prepare at least that much so that you are ahead of the game. Next thing is undertaking. So we have discussed you need to sign an undertaking. Undertaking it's not a one-day undertaking, it's a 20-year undertaking. The undertaking is that you will confirm to the government, since you are sponsoring, you are responsible for their food, clothing, shelter. It's your responsibility. So 20 years responsibility you take that I will do that. You should be doing otherwise also, but here government want that you give it in a writing. 20-year undertaking, it is required and mandatory. Now undertaking, when it starts, this is a question you will ask, right? So undertaking doesn't start when you file an application. Undertaking starts when your parents become PR. They land here. Then it starts from that date to 20 years. So within those 20 years, if your parents they go for social assistance, it is you who will be repaying it. Government can go after you, that it is your responsibility why they have asked for a social assistance. So you have to repay that back to the government, those social assistance. So if your parents have dependent family members, so you are a sponsor, right? And on the parent side, either of the parents become a primary applicant. So parents become a primary applicant. Suppose you have a younger siblings less than the age of 22. So they can also come. This rule is applicable not on the primary applicant, but also on the spouse and the dependent children. So that is applicable on both. Quebec laws are always little different than the rest of the Canada laws. So here, rather than the 20-year undertaking, the Quebec has 10-year undertaking. So this is the undertaking we discussed. Sponsor, as I said, other than the undertaking, there is another requirement which is called ICCRC, other requirement. Sponsor cannot be on removal order. Removal order itself is a big subject to talk about, but for now I can tell you that if the person is under removal order, he has to go from the Canada. So if he himself is on a removal order, how can he sponsor someone? And he cannot be in jail. He cannot have any kind of criminal issues, and also there should not be any kind of undischarged. The word key is undischarged. You can have bankruptcy, but it should be later on discharged. If it is undischarged, still pending, you cannot, because you don't have money for yourself. So how can you support your parents? So that was the concept behind it. And you should not be receiving any kind of social assistance. Again, if you are receiving a social assistance, how can you support your parents? But if you are getting a social assistance due to disability, then it is okay, right? You should not be owing money to the government, not any kind of immigration loan or performance bond. Performance bond, I'll try to capture this in my coming videos, what it is. But for now, yeah, you should not be paying any kind of, nothing pending should be there in terms of any kind of loan to the government. So these are the key requirements from the person who is going to sponsor parents or grandparents. There are some requirements also on the parent side. What are those requirements? So on the parent side, the parents should not have any kind of inadmissibility issues. Now, inadmissibility is a very big topic. I will try to explain to you in a separate video the entire set of inadmissibilities. For now, medical inadmissibility is a major challenge with parents. So inadmissibility means that because of some reason they cannot come to Canada, they are not allowed to come to Canada. So medical reason, if medical inadmissibility is one of the reasons wherein if the cost of their treatment is so heavy on Canadian government, there is certain number. I will try to explain to it in a separate video, as I said. But for now, medical inadmissibility should not be there. Criminal inadmissibility should not be there. Any kind of crime, if they have committed in the past and it's there on their record, that will be a problem. Any kind of misrepresentation should not be there. They should not be under any kind of removal order. So these are the requirements also from the parent side. Parents also need to do certain preparation. So what kind of preparation they need to do? They need to make, if they need to provide the documents. They need to furnish the documents. If they don't have the passport, get their passport ready. Get their marriage certificate ready. Look for the birth certificate. All these documents have to be ready. So because you get 60 days when you get this invite, and getting all the documents in that short period of time is very difficult. So preparation needs to happen now. So on the parent side, they also need to get the medical exam done when the request will come. They also need to get the PCC. Now this is another challenge, police clearance certificate. PCC also needs to be done. If they have traveled in different countries, and more PCC are required. So PCC is a time consuming item. So they need to have it ahead of time. Biometrics, when the request will come, they need to go for the biometrics. So these are some of the things which parents also needs to do. Now, what is a fee? This is an important question. So fee is 1,050 per adult, not a dependent child. So per adult for mother and father. So per person is 1,050. So if you are sponsoring your mother and father, 2 persons, it will be 2,100. For one person, this is 1,050, and this includes sponsorship fee, this includes processing fee, this includes right of permanent residence fee, 500. So total is 1,050. In addition, your parents also need to get $85 of biometric fee done. Now, next question which comes is, what is the processing time? Now, processing time for all the things have, because of the COVID, everything is kind of not in line with what actually should be there. But for now, we can easily say you can keep checking the processing time on the IRCC website. It is usually between 20 to 24 months from the time of the application. Here is the current process, and this process may change. For now, this process is a lottery process. How this process works, let me try to explain you. So on the IRCC website, you fill up a form and submit intent to sponsor, that I want to sponsor my parents, intent to sponsor, expression of interest to sponsor, right? So it goes into a lottery pool, right? And IRCC conducts a draw from that pool, and those who are picked are sent invite. So if you get that invite, if you are invited, you need to fill up the documents and send them in 60-day time period. You need to fill up 2 applications. Why 2? one for sponsorship, other one is for PR application. So I try to explain to you the entire process. The purpose is you prepare everything ahead of time. Tomorrow when the announcement comes, you are ready with all the things, and there you can immediately apply. If you have any challenges in understanding, you can reach out to us at our Brampton office, or you can contact us by email or phone number. They are listed here. Once again, I request you to kindly subscribe to the channel if you have not done so far. Please subscribe the channel, like the video and share it with your family and friends. Thank you so much for watching.